Planet listeners. This is Eric Peterson, quarantining from Salt Lake City. And today I'm joined by Tom Naumann of Primal Fear. How are you doing today, Tom?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Good. Good. And then we were just talking. It's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you very much. Same to you as well.
How does it? How do your kids react to their dad being a rock star?
I don't think that they see me as a rock star. They just see me as their daddy who is away all the time.
Oh, okay.
but when I come back home from a tour, I got a whole suitcase full of sweeties just for them.
Nice, nice. So they're excited to see you go, but then they're really excited when you come back.
It's not like if my girlfriend goes out on a Saturday night, there is screaming and tears are falling and mommy, please don't go.
Yeah.
And I go just like, she's only just for a drink. She will be back in 3 or 4 hours. It's all fine. And I'm still here and I will take care of you. All fine, everything. But nevertheless, if the girl goes, all of my kids are screaming and they're really crying. And if daddy goes on tour, it's still like, have a safe trip, Dad. And that's it.
But make sure you bring back candy.
Yeah. Where are you going, Daddy? Oh, I'm going to America for 6 weeks. Oh, great. Bring sweeties with you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, at least you know what your purpose of life is.
I definitely know that, yeah.
Yeah. So how are things been over there since the shit hit the fan with the COVID?
Yeah, we got the same. It's not as hard as in America, but we also got the very hard restrictions. But since the mid-May, we can go to restaurants again and into our favorite pubs under certain conditions. So
Yeah.
it's going back to the regular normal life, but we're still not allowed to play any shows except open air cinemas where all the people have to sit in cars.
Oh.
And that's really strange for me because when I'm on stage, I love to see people. I love to look in happy faces and whatever. And now I see a car. And when we play the song, they're just using their horns or stuff like that. So this is really surreal, and I really hate it. But but at least it's something we can do once in a while. But to be honest, I will miss like 70 to 80 shows this year because our America tour with Symphony X and Firewind got canceled in May. Then we do not play any summer festival show this year. Then our scheduled European tour from mid-September to mid-October, like 6 weeks, it's also postponed to February next year. Then in October, we plan to go to Japan to play 3 shows over there. It's also canceled.
Wow.
And in November, we would go to, it was planned that we are scheduled to play South America, but it's also postponed. And but that's how it is right now. And life is pretty tough for some professional musicians. I'm in the lucky position that I'm a guitar teacher, and I still can give lessons via Skype or FaceTime, and so I still do have a regular income. So it's not too bad for me, except that I miss a couple of shows.
Yeah. So have you? So you actually have played a live show with people in their cars then?
I was just like a special guest for a guy. He's doing stuff that's called Guitar Mania, where he tells the story of the electric guitar from the beginning to now. And I got asked if I would like to be part when he explained the double lead guitar. So we played some Allman Brothers stuff and some Boston stuff and Final Countdown and Hotel California with a solo. And so it was just like 10 to 15 minutes gig for me, but it was fine to be on stage again. Yeah. And I think I will play another show in the beginning of July, but that's it so far. And I don't think that I will play any more live shows this year. But who knows what will happen? Maybe we'll find something, a cure against this virus, hopefully very soon. But
Yeah.
like everybody goes like, we don't play a show in 2020, but 2021 it will be a great year. Then everybody can play and whatever. But to be honest, the virus will not stop on December or New Year's Eve.
No,
So
no,
we really have to wait till we find a cure for that stuff. And
exactly.
yeah,
So,
but I
because I
hope it
did
will.
see, I did see that Doro played a gig, a car gig,
Yeah,
and so
I saw that. Yeah,
yeah,
but this is strange, isn't it?
yeah, it is really strange. But you
So
guys have a new album coming out, and the nice thing about when I heard you guys had a new album coming out is I knew that there was not going to be any rebirth, and we're not going to see what how the band has changed in 2020 and what was going to happen. I knew that when the Primal Fear album was going to come out, we were going to get heavy guitar, screaming vocals, and honestly, I think that's what the world needs right now.
thank you very much. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So, but like we stand for metal, power metal, true metal. Like Ralph is a fantastic singer, and like we're in the game for like 20 years right now, and it's our 13th album, and we got a good following. We got great fans, and I think that we always deliver. So I think we did not really do a really bad album, and we have our style from double bass and numbers and songs with a heavy groove and ballads, and we have epic tracks again on the album. So I think that this album really sums it up what's Primal Fear all about.
Yeah, and again, it's not like you go, okay, I wonder what is it going to sound more this or is it going to sound more that? It's going to sound Primal Fear, and that's what we want, and that's the best thing.
Yeah, and I think if you do like albums like the last 10 or 11 albums we already released, and then you start doing something different, I don't think that the fans also will trust you or believe that you will do it because you want to do it. Maybe you just want to do it because you want to gain more popularity or more sales or whatever. But we really stand for what we are doing, and I think if there's an album where Primal Fear is on, then Primal Fear is also in. So we're not trying to do something different. We always try to improve ourselves or develop something new, but we always stick to our music roots, which is definitely metal.
Yeah, and you guys, the new just released a new single called for the song "I Am Alive," which is a great song, and then "Along Came the Devil." Is there any songs on the album that have a particular special meaning to you?
I think I'm Alive is also one of my favorites right now, but we have also a very epic track called Infinity, and it's like 13 minutes long, and it's got a great chorus, and yeah, it's also one of my favorite songs on this album. But I listened to that album for like 9 months already, because we started to write songs, and then you start with a little idea, and then you see this idea develops and got a metal monster. Then you go into the studio and record that song, and then you listen to it over and over again and over and over again, and then Ralph is singing, and then we listen to it over and over again.
Yeah,
we did the mixing. So before the album will come out, I have listened to it probably 1,000 times.
yeah,
And then there's a time where you cannot stand to listen to this album anymore. And so then you stop for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you pick up your favorites, and your favorites they change every 2 to 3 weeks. So now I got Hear Me Calling, and I got I'm Alive and Infinity, and maybe in 2 weeks it will be different.
I hope in 2 weeks it's Howl of the Banshee, because I love that song.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah,
I love that song.
It's we have a lot of different stuff. We have really heavy stuff on it, like groove songs, and I think that our even Afterlife is. I don't think that we have it's a really fast track, and I'm not sure if it's one of the fastest tracks we ever wrote together. So yeah, it's got everything on this album, and we are really proud. And the reviews in the German magazines are really good, and so I think that we will release a metal monster this time.
Good. And then, so was the recording for this album any different than, like, did you guys that you've done in the past, or has it pretty much been the same?
I think that when we started to record, that Matt and Michael Ere, our new drummer, who played with Ulich and Roth and Gamma Ray, they went to Denmark to the studio of Jacob Hansen, which already mixed 3 or 4 albums for Primal Fear.
Okay.
And they recorded the drums there. And then there was a lot of homework because everybody of us got a studio at home. And so Magnus did his guitar parts in Sweden, and Matt played his bass at home, and Ralph did his vocal lines in his studio. And the only thing that changed is that Alex and me, we went together with Matt. We went to the south of Germany to the studio of our front of house engineer, and we recorded our lead stuff over there, which was really fun and was also really inspiring. And we had a lot of fun to do that. And I hope that we'll do it again for the next album, because it was super funny. We had a good time, and it was really inspiring. And it was just like, when you do lead stuff, so then it's always some kind of competition between Alex, Magnus, and me. But the thing is that we know it got for so long, and it's a really, really healthy competition, and we help each other. We're like, why didn't you play like this or play like that? And in that case, it was really helpful to be in the studio with those guys, not working alone at home in your studio and record some stuff.
Yeah, because you've actually been around long enough. You've seen the evolution of a recording, and so back in the day, I mean, that's what you had to do. You were all in the same room together, basically, and you recorded stuff. Do you like that better than the way that people do it now?
There are 2 sides of the coin, because when you're all together in the studio, like you go like, okay, we're going to the studio, we have like 20 days, and then we have to finish the album. So everybody was under pressure. You have to play good, you have to be fast, and blah, blah, blah. And then when you got a bad hair day, and then you start to play, and nothing works. And it's like, hey, you have to do another track today, or probably 2 more tracks today, and you have a really bad mood, and you're not really inspired, and whatever the fuck is. It's really tough. So it's okay if you have the time to record when you feel the mood for recording.
Yeah.
But then you are sitting alone in your studio or in your office, and you work by yourself. Sometimes it could be good, but sometimes it's also a pain in the ass when you got stuck with an idea or whatever. There's no one there who can help you or will help you.
Yeah.
When you're in the studio and it comes for playing some special stuff, like you have Matt and Verf also like, hey, play it like this, play it like that, and whatever. And then it's also nice. And then when we did the recordings and the day is done, we hang out and we have a couple of beers and we have a lot of fun and we're laughing all the time. This is what makes it worthwhile, being in the studio, like having the fun and having the guys around you. But it's also a lot of pressure when you're in the studio and you have to record stuff, because they know exactly 20 days it has to be done.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like you can work on a song at home and you really record it like you would like to have it on the album, and then you got the files and you just send it to Jacob Hansen, and then he can work with it. So sometimes it's really cool to stay at home and do your own stuff in your own studio, but I prefer hanging with the other guys.
Yeah, I could see, you think about how in the past recording albums sometimes makes and breaks bands. If you're already on the edge a little bit and you start pushing each other, and then all of a sudden you push somebody too far, then you piss them off, and then next thing you know, you're not making an album. But if you have a good relationship with which is what you guys have, it sounds like it's a really good thing.
It's a really good thing. We know each other for so long, and we know our good sides and we know our bad sides, and so it's all in the studio. It's all fight. Sometimes we have an argument, which doesn't mean that we are screaming at each other, but we are discussing stuff, and sometimes you feel a little bit pissed, but then you go out having a cigarette and having a red wine, and then everything is good again.
Yeah.
So sometimes it could be healthy discussing stuff, or see it different than the other guys, and sometimes not. But as far as this recording went, it was all fine. We really had fun doing it, and I think everybody in the band loves the output so far.
Yeah, I think if you had an argument in the future, I think what you should do is you should just tell, especially if it's with Ralph, you should just tell him you're going to arm wrestle him and kick his ass.
I definitely do that.
Tell him you might be ripped and have all these no sleeve shirts and you're the front man, but I'll still kick your ass.
Yeah, but I think I have to make him drunk before we do the arm wrestling, so then I have a real. Otherwise,
whatever works, whatever it takes. Sure. I mean, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, but I think that's the only chance I got. Otherwise, he will rip me in half. And, so.
But just think if you did it. If you did it, you were able to hold it over him for the rest of your career.
Yeah, but to be honest, sometimes Ralph looks sort of scary because of his muscles.
Yeah.
But he's a really nice guy, and he's not aggressive at all. So all is fine in the band, and
good.
We still have discussions and arguments, but it's really all cool, and everything's fine.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about another project you're involved in called Rock Meets Classic, and
yes.
It's a really cool project. I was watching some of this year's, the 2020, because you guys actually got to do it this year, right?
Yeah, we started, but we were only allowed to play 5 shows, I guess. So the last show was in Berlin, and then the government skipped the rest of the tour because of the virus. So It was a pity, because I had a lot of fun to be on stage with Robin Sander of Cheap Trick and playing songs with Alice Cooper and all that stuff. So it was it's always a great musical journey, and for me it's an honor, and I really feel blessed to have the opportunity to share the stage with such great legends. Like, I was on stage with Don Felder. I was on stage with Scott Gorham and Ricky Warwick of Thin Lizzy, or Steve Lukather or Rick Springfield. It's like Supertramp, and you play all this different style of music, and these are all hits, and this is so much fun because a lot of songs I played in Rock Meets Classic were my favorite songs when I was young. I think when I was like 15 or 16, Rick Springfield was my idol.
Yeah.
And now I'm standing next to him, and he's telling stories about a blonde, good-looking guy, and he looked at me, and then I started playing Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, is it real? Wow. So this is really a nice job that we are doing with this Rock Meets Classic, and I'm really looking forward to next year, and I hope we can do the tour. But it will be a classic tour. I think we have this time we have Joey Chambers of Europe with us. We have Mike Tramp of White Lion. We have Mid-Year of Ultra Fox. So we got some really good stuff going on this year.
So I mean, I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. So to see you guys up there jamming with Alice Cooper was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, it was. It's also the playing is really cool, but to hang with the guys after the show in the dressing room or the hotel bar, and they tell you stories, and then you're just like a little kid, and you go like, wow,
yeah,
this is happening to me. Wow, it is like this is the real. Playing is cool, like playing Poison or the old stuff, and but to hang with the guys at the hotel bar, like Steve Lukather, that he's telling stories about other guys shitting their hotel rooms or whatever, and funny stuff about Toto and everything, or when the Sweet guys or Thin Lizzy guys came and they tell you stuff from the past. This is really wow. And like you hardly had the opportunity to talk to Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon or Ian Gillan from Deep Purple. Then
Yeah.
you sit next to them in the hotel bar and they start, I know, like in the 70s, he was like this and that. And this is pure fun to listen to their stories.
So do you have a favorite that was one of your favorite shows or opportunities on that?
That's a tough question because there were so many good players and musicians, but I think that Steve Lukather is one of my favorite guitar players.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve Lukather, Rick Springfield was my idol in my youth. I also loved Francis Rossi of Status Quo because Status Quo was one of my first big rock shows I've ever saw. And then sure, I'm a Thin Lizzy fan, so it was great to play with Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to way more to mention because every band and every artist that was with us on this Rock With Classic Tour has their own and special song. So it would be unfair to say or to pick different guys because I was never a big Supertramp fan. And then I started to learn those songs, and I really said, what the fuck? These are fucking great songs.
Yeah.
And he was like, and then the sensation and to play school and all that stuff. I was like, wow, what the fuck is this? This was so brilliant. I didn't believe it in the beginning. Or even we played with the Hooters, like All Your Zombies and all that stuff. Or then we played with Michael Sadler of Saga. You play Humble Stands and Wind Him Up, which were songs I grew up with when I 16, 17 years old. So every artist has their own special meaning for me personally.
I did see you did a song with Survivor too.
But it was before I joined Rock With Classic.
Oh, it was? Okay.
In 2016.
Okay.
And it must be 2014 or 2015. And I think with Jimmy Jamison were on that bill.
Oh, okay. But I did notice every time I've seen the Rock Meets Classic, the one thing I did notice is that Tom was not a serious Tom. Tom had an ear-to-ear smile on his face.
Oh, because I fucking enjoy it.
I know, I could tell. I mean, there was no serious Tom. It was just this big grin, like I can't believe I'm up here.
Yeah, sure. But look, I have the fortune that I got a regular job. So, but then I skipped my regular job and said, what I'm going to do right now. Then I started giving guitar lessons. And then I played in different bands. I played in cover bands, and I played in normal bands and all that stuff. And then, so I got like 50 students right now, and I play in Rock With Classic, Sinner, Primal Fear, and I turned a hobby into a living.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to do this because it's not a regular 9-to-5 job, and I see different people every day when I'm on tour, except my guys from the band. But I have the possibility when we play America to walk around, to do some sightseeing, whatever. And I'm not going to my office every day at 9 o'clock and I leave the office at 5 and go back home. So I really appreciate what I can do, like being at the Opera House in Sydney, play a show in the evening in Sydney, getting paid for it, or you stand in front of the Monte of Cristo in Rio de Janeiro, or you go to Dallas to the crossing where JFK was shot, and you see the world. You travel the world and you get paid. So that's amazing. And I will not complain at all. But there are also hard times when you do touring, especially when you're in South America, because you play late and then you have to get up early because there is the lobby call in the middle of a night and you slept like 2 hours or 3 hours, and then you have to go to the airport and then you fly for 4 hours and then you have to wait for the connecting flight for 2 hours. Then you will be at the hotel at 4 and then you pick up at 5 and then you have to play a show, and the next day it's like, okay, sorry guys, it's less sleep than last night, so you only have 2 hours and then we have to go back to the airport. So sometimes this can also be a very tough job when it comes to traveling. But regularly, it's great to have the opportunity to do this, like playing live, traveling the world, especially when we play huge festivals in Europe, and you met all the guys from Accept or Judas Priest or Megadeth. Or Slayer, you know. This is really cool to hang with those guys backstage and to have a nice talk and have a cold beer with them. And this is really what makes the whole thing worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you did forget was when you were talking about traveling is picking up sweets.
Yeah, but the sweets is really funny because every time we got a catering and there is fruits and bread and everything on it and sweets. And I always, when I come into catering, I always grab the sweets and put them in my suitcase. Every time I'm back home, I think like the suitcase is like 2.5 kilos heavier than before.
Yeah,
so yeah, but that's the way I make it back into the heart of my kids.
Exactly.
After I left them alone for 6 weeks.
Exactly. So my last question for you is, tell me a song by Primal Fear, by song or by title, or by title or by content, that best describes the world today as we know it.
Oh, that's a tough question. Maybe Fear, the song Fear from the Black Sun album.
That was one I was thinking of too, because I always think of myself, what would I pick, and that was one of the songs I thought I'd pick.
Yeah, I think like you live in America, you know what's going on right now. So there's a lot of crazy shit going on everywhere in the world, and it's like I'm just a regular normal guy, and I just do not get it why people kill people or betray people or whatever, or it doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm a little bit, to be honest, I'm a little bit scared when I will be gone in a couple of years, like my time will end on Earth somehow in maybe 30 years or so, but then I leave my kids in this world, and I have the feeling that the world has changed a lot and not to the better. And so I'm a little bit afraid that I will leave my kids in a bad world situation.
Yeah.
And I don't hope, and I really don't hope that there will be another world war, but you never know. There are so many assholes around right now, so you have to really be careful.
Yes.
And hope for the best.
Yes. One song that I thought that, from me too, that I thought would be a good one, it was kind of represents America how I see it right now, which is called The King of Madness.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you're a Trump supporter or not. So, but
No.
But yeah, it's like for us, it's a little bit weird with Donald Trump. So because sometimes he makes strange speeches for us, like and sometimes we do not get it if it's a joke or if it's real, and so
either do we.
Sorry?
Either do we. We don't get it either.
Yeah, it's so strange, and like we built a wall in Mexico. Why? You know, like all that stuff, and now with the coronavirus, like it was everybody's fault except him.
Yeah.
Except his fault. You know, like China and WHO and everything was, but not him. He's doing a great job. He's the best guy ever, and whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's he thinks he's a narcissist. That's it.
Yep.
He's a narcissist, and I don't think that he has a lot of political sense.
No.
Can you say this? Sense. So yeah.
But at least we're entertaining you guys.
Sorry?
At least we're entertaining you guys with how our country is going.
I don't get the question right now.
We're giving you guys some entertainment with all of our craziness that's going on.
Yeah, you should do. Sometimes it's like, and I think like when you see the press conferences, it goes like, oh, that's a nasty question.
Yeah.
I think it's a question from a reporter. So why will they not answer it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nasty question. That's a nasty question. Next, please. And then the next guy asked nearly the same, and he was like, oh, that's a nasty question. Next, please. And he just answered the question that he really would like to answer.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I appreciate your time. It's been amazing talking to you. I hope to see you guys in the United States. I was lucky enough to see you guys at the Sabaton Open Air in 2018. So that was my first time seeing you.
Did you like that?
Oh, I loved it. That Sabaton Open Air was such a fun show, and you guys, that was one of the reasons I was so excited to be there, because I knew there were bands like you guys, like Nocturnal Rites, and some of those other bands that I would never see anywhere else, and so I had to come there to see it. So,
well, I think that's a good point, because if you go to the 70,000 tons of metal, then you see at least 60 bands, and probably a lot of them you never saw or you will never see them playing live, and so that's a good opportunity to check them out.
Yeah, and there was bands that I had never heard of. I mean, and then I was just blown away by them. And then there was bands that I knew of that, like Beast in Black was one of them. I never thought I would see them in the United States, and so it was just like I got to go to Sweden because they're there, and I could see all these other bands. So.
Okay.
So. Well, yeah. I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun. And look forward to the new album coming out on July 24th. And Metal Commando. And we know what it's all about. And take care, and we will chat soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Take care and stay healthy.
You too.